every day without making much of a dent in the problems that nagged Lancaster. He wasn't unique in this. After 40 years of drug warring, police all over the country were chanting, "We can't arrest ourselves out of this." Unlike many of his fellow officers, though, Brown understood that the bad things that had so altered his town from the days of his childhood weren't really grounded in drugs. Some in Lancaster didn't notice, or they chose not to notice, or refused to accept, just how much the foundation of the town they once knew had crumbled. The few with money could leave to play golf at the Greenbrier, go to the beach on Hilton Head, winter hibernate in Florida, and still see their town as charming and full of history and nice people. They didn't have to venture across Memorial Drive and into the west side or cross the railroad tracks to the south side. Often when people did talk about it, heroin and the outsiders who showed up to take advantage of social services provided conveniently simple explanations. Lancaster would go back to normal if only those two problems would go away. Brown didn't have the luxury of blinders. He saw too clearly that whatever was going on was so much bigger and so much more mysterious than anything he could possibly control. It had to do with the economy, of course, with the decimation of downtown, with the fact that every morning Route 33 was packed with cars making the hour commute to Columbus because there weren't any good jobs in Lancaster. Sometimes it seemed like the only adult males left during the day were heavily tattooed and skinny, hoodies drawn up over their heads, riding little girls' bikes with pink banana seats, or walking down Main Street, tugging at their jeans and often accompanied by girlfriends dressed in Hello Kitty pajama pants who pushed strollers. There were so many girls dragging dirty flannel hems across the sidewalks that local cops called Lancaster the pajama pants capital of Ohio. What was he supposed to do about them? There was something in the culture, too, not just of Lancaster, but of America. The parks, a source of local pride, never seemed to have any kids in them. Who was he supposed to arrest for that? And yet people expected him to do something. The people from here, roots here, I'm arresting them and dealing not only with them, but a distraught parent, distraught grandparents, sister, aunt, uncle. They were not outsiders, but people he knew, people he grew up with, played football with, saw right then in Cherry Street Pub. They'd call him up and plead with him to be not just a cop, but a counselor, a corrections officer, a judge. The weight of it, the pressure, wanting to make things right, wanting Lancaster, and that's when the chin started. He paused. My mom and dad are still here. My son's here. He's raising his son here, him and his wife. People can become so frustrated, so discouraged, so mystified about what happened to the communities they love and about what they can do about them, they can't help but cry. Even a cop. Introduction. The CEO. Sam Solomon drove his rental car through the west side, pulled into the rutted parking lot across the street from the offices on Pierce Avenue, opened his door, and heard air compressors whooshing, machines clanking, furnaces roaring. The factory adjacent to the offices groaned and heaved like an old man getting up out of his Barcalounger. This was the heart and soul of Everywhere Global, a company with a name of pretend grandiosity that managed to be both redundant and generic. Solomon was about to start his first day as interim CEO. He'd signed his new employment contract a few days before, on February 21, 2014, a Friday. That Sunday he flew in from Chicago to Everywhere's headquarters in Lancaster, Ohio, because he wanted to get an early Monday morning start. But upon arriving in Ohio, Solomon received a call waving him off. Don't come in Monday. Officials from Monami Capital Partners, the New York private equity outfit that owned most of Everywhere's stock, told Solomon that the CEO they'd just fired, John Shepard, wasn't quite fired yet. Certain documents and deals and signings were yet to be obtained. The Monami guys were Manhattan finance pros for whom attention to detail is a creed. Solomon thought flubbing the transition to a new CEO was a strange bit of corporate statecraft. Naturally, Solomon had done some due diligence before taking the job. He knew that Everywhere Global was the mashup of two old unrelated companies, the glassmaker Anchor Hocking and the flatware company Oneida of Sherrill, New York.